Okay. Good morning. Today is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen. It's August 19th and it is 8:32. Before you have today's agenda, there is one addition I'd like to make to that agenda, and it is the addition of the Irwin Barn Maintenance Area relocation. Could I get a motion to add that agenda item?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous, and we'll put that, you know what, why don't we, so you can get, where's Butch? We'll get you out of here, Butch. So we'll put that up front. We'll put that, let me just put it right after the Affordable Housing Committee. All right. So if I could get a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you. The minutes from our August 5th meeting, you should have on your tablets. And do you have any additions or corrections?
None here.
All right, seeing none, if I could get a motion to approve the minutes from our regularly scheduled meeting on August 5th.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Public comments. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments to the Board of Selectmen on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Comments submitted electronically should be sent to the following email address: bosdistribution@newcanaanct.gov. Do I have anyone wishing to address the committee or Selectmen? Okay. Seeing none, if we can move on to our next agenda item, the Affordable Housing Committee, and Krista.
Morning, I'm Krista Nielsen with the Affordable Housing Committee. I chair the Project Development Subcommittee, and I'm here today seeking approval for a contract of $29,500 with an architectural firm called Amenta Emma. Amenta Emma may be familiar to you. They've done work in New Canaan before. They were the architect on Canaan Parish, so they have both experience working with our housing authority and working in affordable housing. They also most recently were before the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval on the Waveney Life Care Center's addition. So they've worked on that as well. So we're looking for Amenta Emma to review 3 sites that the subcommittee has selected as potential options for future affordable housing development. We're talking larger affordable housing development on the scale of something like a Canaan Parish, maybe a little smaller, depending on our needs. And so we need an architect to help us review each of these sites, figure out how many units could be built on each and what type of configuration, so that ultimately, with both the townspeople's help and the elected officials' help, we can narrow it down to a site that we'd like to pursue, hopefully for certificate of occupancy by 2032, which is when we anticipate needing a future moratorium, new construction for a future moratorium. We're hoping that the units from Riverwood and the carryover units will get us what we need in 2028. So that's what we're planning towards. I've been going back and forth. I know Mr. Lamont is on the telephone as well. There's just a couple of small areas that still need to be worked out in the contract. So I guess I'd be asking you for approval with a condition that the town attorney ultimately signs off on some of those items in the contract that they're still being negotiated.
Tucker, can I get Chris or something? My iPad is not, it's only got 2 items. It's crazy.
Chris, can I ask a question? And I know you guys dug into this, but the one site that I was interested that wasn't mentioned in these 3, and it has to do with the Jeff Speck thing, was the Morse Court area. And so is this will be only those 3 locations, right?
Correct.
As potential.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at for right now. Just to give you hopefully a quick background of how we got to these 3 sites. Starting last year, I worked with the town's GIS provider, which is Ty and Bond, and I asked them to make us a map and a spreadsheet of all town-owned, state-owned, and privately owned properties, all town-owned and state-owned properties, and then privately owned properties over 5 acres. and that was 295 properties in the town. We then whittled it down to those that have access to public water and sewer, and that got us to 43 properties. And then we scored them, giving them negative points, -1 point if they're in the flood zone, if they're in a wetland, +1 point if they were within what we call walking distance or a quarter of a mile of a park, another point if they're within a quarter mile of the school, and another point if they're within a quarter mile of downtown. The highest score any property could get was 2. So the one you're talking about, Morse Court, it does score well. We then did just like a straw poll of our committee in terms of which ones we thought were most viable. And I think given the size of Morse Court and also its location sort of right in the center of town, that it didn't make the top 3. I mean,
Okay.
it was like number 4, but it wasn't
Okay.
in the top 3. So that's why that one's not included right now, but I definitely would consider it a second tier property that, you know, we should look at in the future, because I do think Jeff Speck's comments are completely right on that, you know, ultimately the town will be better if there's something eventually constructed there.
All right.
You talked about your meeting about the number of units possibly, you know, that like first phase being around 80, I guess, was the discussion. Is that still about where we need to be by 2032, right? Is that
Yeah,
the-
so for each moratorium, including the one coming up in 2028 and 2032 would be the next one, we need about 150 Hue points, and Hue points aren't easily convertible for the average person. And it depends on the number of bedrooms and the level of affordability. But I would say in general, to get to 150 Hue points, we're looking at 75 to 80 units being constructed. And just to be clear, none of this includes whatever happens with any of the 830G projects. Like, we've kind of put that to the side for now because it is such a big unknown. So certainly, depending on what happens there, we may need less units, but it's hard to plan around what you don't know.
Yeah, and you mentioned Riverwood, so we don't know how many of those units will be up by then as well. And, you know, that's
What's going to happen at Riverwoods between now and 2028? Do we know how many units we're going to have to convert over?
Well, by at least, unless it gets financed differently, right now, 20% of the, you know, about 20 units have to be converted because of the financing arrangement, but they don't have to be made to the 830G qualifications. They have to be, I think, it's of area median income, not state median income. So, but, you know, the whole purpose of that transaction was eventually, once the project sort of, you know, stabilizes and we get it to a place that those area median income units would be converted to potentially state median, because unless something else comes online, but obviously those projects will obviously move the ball. So the number of units are going to be changing based on those developments. Those units are intended to satisfy the 2028 moratorium. And then the additional units, there's a discussion on how much of that development do we want to make that 100% affordable? And, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of decisions, and there's leases that come up, and, you know, it is a
moving target. Yeah.
It is a moving target.
But in general, we think by 2028, approximately 20 units will move to some sort of subsidy level. Okay, my question, I've kept asking this. Has anyone can't come up with the number that's going to be required to take 20 units from market rate to some subsidized level, and how it's going to get paid for? Because that's going to be kind of a liability for the town.
Right.
And I mean, and people have to realize when you take something from market rate to below market rate, somebody's got to come out of pocket. Do we have, like, because, and I know it depends when we roll them on. We of course want to roll them on as late as possible so you don't have the subsidy longer. Has anyone come up with, I guess it would be the fiscal year 28, 29, okay? How much the town is going to have to pick up one way, shape, or form, either take down some of the debts so they're, you know, they offset that, whether we give them property tax abatement equal to that amount, is there enough? Do we have a number? Do we have a number of what our liability is? Because I think we thought like I think people think you buy Riverwood and you're set. No, no, no. Then you have to figure out how to pay the subsidy, which is going to be a town expense. Do we have a number?
So this is not my area of expertise.
Right.
We don't right now, Amy, it's a little premature because they still have to stabilize the project. It's still not affordable. And so we need to as you might
you're not
expect,
affordable,
interest rate,
or you mean not?
they're not affordable right now because they're currently market rate.
Sure, no, I understand
They
that.
had 2 years from closing to stabilize the property and then
From an
get-
occupancy standpoint, you're talking about.
and just getting the new management in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so once that happens, then they need to convert those units.
Sure.
And as you might expect, I mean, I used to work in commercial real estate, as did you. I mean, the interest rate, all of that
Yeah, all that
stuff is
plays
going
into
to
it. I
play
know.
into it. And so it's a bit of a moving target. And so, you know, you can come up with a number today and in
Yeah, but
3
I-
years, that number is going to be different.
But I do think we need to realize that that's going to be an expense.
I think we've
going
all known,
forward.
we've all known that.
But we don't, no one's,
Right.
you can put a range. It's not
Well,
that
and it
hard to
depends
do.
on how many you convert, right? I
Right.
mean, so
But if
it's
you
like,
have,
it's all
what I'm
kinds
hearing
of
is we got to do
scenarios.
20 approximately, right?
That we know.
Okay,
That we
so,
know.
you know, I would like to see an assumption on 20, the
Right.
range would be this.
Right.
And that these are our ways to pay for it. I think people should realize that's going to be an expense.
Yeah, I think
going
we've
forward.
made that clear. I mean, I know
Mhm.
when we bought it, we said it, we weren't done.
Yeah.
And that this was not, you know,
Yeah.
that this wasn't the end of the
Well,
funding.
it's
so.
part of a long-term strategy that
Yeah.
we're trying to we're trying to figure out. I mean, we're one of 169 towns. Many towns have never even heard of an affordable housing committee. We have one
Yeah,
working,
no,
and it's, you know, this is just trying to move the ball down the field.
no, and
so.
I'm not saying we're not. I just think I would feel better having, like, you know, almost
Yeah.
like we have our capital plan.
Yeah,
We
I-
have these guesses and we
Right.
go forward that
Always good to
we
look
have
at
it.
it.
We have
Maybe
that.
Scott.
I just think
maybe
if
Scott
you
can
get
do
too
that.
fixated on one number,
No, no,
that
no,
number
a
is,
range.
is going to change. I
A
mean,
range.
by virtue of the way the market works, it is going to change. And then you get people like fixated on one number and the number will be changing. So I just want to be careful about, you know, fixating on one number and then, you know, and the strategy can change. It's like, are we going to make that 100% affordable? Are we going to do 60% affordable, like 40% affordable? I mean, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different opinion. So we have to just make sure that we, you know, and the market is changing with these 3 projects. So that we're still dealing with. So it's a, you know, anyway.
So getting
enough
back to this contract for Krista. That's why she's here.
Yes.
So, sorry, we're off track, Krista. Again, we do this sometimes. So the other thing in looking through this, you mentioned during the meeting that there'd be a deliverable possibly at the end where whichever location gets selected, we may see like a 3-dimensional model with basically just blocks, basically, right? Is that
Right.
So
Yeah,
maybe
it
you can just
wouldn't
talk
be,
about
you
that
know, an
for-
architecturally significant model. It would just more show the massing, like, you know, it would be taking up this much of the site. It would be this many stories tall. And certainly we're obviously as citizens of New Canaan very aware of, you know, what we think will fit well in New Canaan. So we're not looking to design something that doesn't. That will certainly be a huge part of our conversations. But yeah, once we get down to, and we haven't exactly talked about the process to get from 3 to 1, but like I said, I'm assuming it's going to include public involvement and also elected official involvement. But then once we get down to that 1, we will have a general massing scheme that then could be taken further by Amenta Emma or a future architecture firm that the town decides to go with if, you know, if we decide this site is a go.
Yeah, because the 3 sites are so different. And in some ways, I look at the 3 sites and say, well, one's a little easier because it's smaller. So you kind of know what you can put in there and you'd maximize that space. But then the other side of it is where the lumberyard is so big. You know, I think during the meeting you mentioned even a phasing where you wouldn't necessarily develop the entire thing or you develop part of it. Obviously, this is all to come, but that's a big undertaking to tackle that. But
Yes. I think that if the lumberyard were the selected site, that we probably are looking at mixed use. We probably are looking at more than one phase, you know, what we need for 2032, what we need for 2036. And it's a little hard to get your head around right now. So
one of the best things I think came out of the meeting was the fact that you said 0 parking loss of, you know, so which is, now would that hold true with all sites or just
with all the sites, our intention is that there's no net loss of parking. So whatever commuter parking is, or public parking is being serviced today by those sites would have to be decked probably and, beneath or as part of the parking of the project in order to make it a viable option. And that is in the contract with Amenta Emma, that they understand that that's one of the main goals.
Good. All right.
Well, I mean, this is great. I mean, real estate takes a long time to develop, so it's great that you guys are doing the work and putting this forward.
And once we get it, I mean, their charge is really only 830G and getting to moratorium. That is the Affordable Housing Committee's mission. And so anything beyond that comes out of this is going to have to be part of a planning and zoning, various boards, a much broader discussion. So, it's like phase one.
Yeah. And there'll probably be a couple of opinions. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but maybe. All
All
right.
right. So
This is just in the description of the project. I wonder if we're describing this right. Because it says, in order to meet the state's 10% affordable housing requirement by 2032, we're not, even if we meet the moratorium, we're not going to be at 10%. We're working. I just think we need to possibly rephrase that.
I think it's because that's the language of 830G. I mean,
to meet state.
What page?
It's actually, I'm on page 12 of, I think it's the second attachment, and it just talks about it's the downtown affordability study, just description of the project.
Got it.
It would just, people might think that, oh, we're going to be at 10% in 2032 if we pull this off.
We can revise that language.
Yeah, I just think to be
not
safe.
accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, part of the issue with 830G from the beginning is the goalposts move constantly. So if you build one, or if one house gets torn down and you build a 2-family, all of a sudden you're moving the goalposts again. So it's just
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just a small language tweak.
right. Might just say, get rid of the 2032.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll work on that for you.
Yeah. Okay. Or just 830G, whatever. So
Something.
because that could change too. All right. Any other questions or comments?
Just a thank you to Krista. She's obviously used to being on this side of the dais, and it's probably unusual to sit over there, but with all the work.
No.
But we thank.
Sure. I mean, I can clarify a little bit.
Doug's online if we need.
But basically it's section 8, which is about indemnity, which is again, not my area of expertise. So if you have more questions about that, I will.
Doug, why don't you clarify? Can you clarify a little bit what the section 8 indemnity stuff for the board?
Sure. Doug Lamonte from Bertram Moses. So Section 8A of the consulting services agreement, in a nutshell, it says that the consultant will cover the town for losses and expenses that result from a breach of any of the representations or covenants made by Amenta Emma. That's first. And what's an example of that would be, well, I think, in my opinion, it's of the essence of this arrangement that Amenta Emma is responsible for identifying applicable laws and regulations and complying with them. It wouldn't make sense to hire them and then, they look at 830G, but that's actually the North Dakota 830G, not the Connecticut 830G, right? So, that's an extreme example just for purposes of discussion. And then any negligent or intentional acts or omissions. If the town suffers a loss because the work product is improperly drawn. The streets are not properly spaced out or something on whatever diagrams or drawings are made, and the town suffers a loss. What would be the loss? Well, the town has to redo the study. So that would be another example. So those are, those are examples of what the town would want to have coverage for by Amenta Emma. Did that address your question, or?
It's okay. Okay. All right, so then if you have no further questions, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Affordable Housing Committee to enter into a consulting services agreement with Amenta Emma to provide feasibility study regarding site identification of potential future 830G projects, subject to review by Town Attorney Doug Lamonte.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you, Krista.
Thanks, Kristen. And please thank the committee too.
Yeah. Yes.
And we thank you.
For our work.
All right, Butch, want to come up? And John.
Morning. Good morning. So we're looking for approval to enter into 2 contracts with 2 different companies so that we can have Butch have a home, so to speak. With Irwin House coming down in the garage next to it, his workshop and storage is in that garage. So we're looking to move him to the basement of Irwin Barn, which will be a nice upgrade when we do the work. So we're looking for approval to enter into a contract with New Canaan Property Management for $25,372, and also Aladdin Services for $9,800. The reason we put Aladdin in there too, even underneath the 10,000, since it's so close to 10,000 with the contingency, if anything comes up, we didn't want to have to come back at that point in time. Now I'll let Butch describe the project since he's worked on most of it.
So downstairs, right now, we store like all the paper for town hall, everything is in the garage at Irwin. So it has to be temperature controlled, humidity controlled, otherwise everything, not very well. Yes. So that's part of it. There's gonna be kind of a big storage area down below. We're gonna put an actual garage door with an opener in there so we can get a pallet jack in for any large things. Where they poured the new concrete, build like a small bathroom. We're gonna have a closet for lightning detection equipment for the Irwin barn. Any other stuff we need to store in there. Just basic storage area and a workshop. So out of the elements, if I had to build something for another project in town.
This is the previous apartment area, right? Is that right? Where the apartment is?
Apartment area, and then there's a
Garage
little
and stuff.
garage next to it
Right,
underneath.
where we filled in the cement.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna repurpose as much stuff as we can from the Irwin house. There's doors that we can bring down there to use. The HVAC system that's in there now, we're actually gonna repurpose down below.
Great.
So save
Great.
some expense.
That's great. Great. Any other questions? All right, if not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into the following contracts: New Canaan Property Management, $25,372, Aladdin Services, $9,800, contingency of $3,500 for a total project of $38,672. The project entails the creation of a new building maintenance area in the Irwin barn in anticipation of the demolition of Irwin House in the garage.
So moved.
Second,
It's unanimous. Thank you.
it's a pretty good deal. I mean, to get all of that done
Mhm.
for this
Yeah.
much money,
Yeah.
With that said, there will be some more expenses in there. Like moving the HVAC down and stuff like that, but we see everything below the $10,000 threshold.
Yeah.
And also the whole project, right now is around $50,000.
Okay, but still
do the
even
whole-
with that, into
Very good
all
deal.
the electric lines, everything and all that jazz,
Yeah.
right? Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good repurposing.
Yeah.
of that area and a good place for him to work out of.
Yeah.
So it's great.
It's a large space down there too, so might as well utilize it.
It's terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yes, yes, so. Okay. Wait, isn't it? It is Ness.
No, next
was
was Motorola. Next
that's-
was
What number are you talking about?
I think it's
5 is Motorola, so that's why we're asking.
Sorry, so what's, I don't have the agenda.
8 lease approvals.
Lease
Okay,
approvals,
all right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna
we
move.
have Doug Lamonte on Zoom, as you know. I've got Laura Budd with the Chamber and Colleen Proster here with New Canaan Cares. You have 2 lease renewals in front of you. Very straightforward. Both have been tenants of the town for over a period of 15 years. As you know, in preparation for the work, they were at the Playhouse, both of them sharing offices. Was the work for the Playhouse needed to be done, we relocated them. You have now since left Irwin. This has been your second move. We had some vacant office space up above here at Divine Cottage, and Laura's been happily over at the Annex. We also, as an aside, we are working, Ann and Bill are working, Munis has got a new module that's tracking all of our contracts. So you're going to be hearing more from us on leases. We're getting every lease completely tightened up. It'll remind us when they need to be renewed. It'll include insurance, all that kind of thing. So this is part of that. Although both the Cares and Chamber were just working off of this old lease. So we're just trying to bring everything up to speed. And if you have any specific questions about the lease, we've got Doug and Colleen and Laura, if you have any questions.
Yeah, I see that it has, you know, your electricity, I mean, you're paying the usage fees and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so that was good.
Any other questions? All right.
Have you had any water issues? We're looking at a new roof over there.
No,
No.
it's very nice.
tight.
It's a big upgrade to above the old Playhouse. I will say that. It's a huge upgrade, and obviously I'm very happy there. So, and I had a lawyer on our board look at the contract. He's happy with it from our perspective. So we're very thrilled to be able to be in that space.
Yeah, I mean, you're easy to find too.
Yeah,
It's
can't miss us.
not Florida.
Can't hide, babe.
And it's nice for Cares to be back in town.
Mhm.
You liked being over there, but it is nice to be back here. So.
And it's actually a good partnership. I think Colleen would maybe echo this, that you know, they do some work with part of our health department and human
Right.
services
So it's right
department. So
there.
it's nice to be.
We lead the coalition. We've been having our meetings downstairs here 4 times a year. And for some reason, historically, the health department did not sit on our coalition. I'm not sure why, but we've invited them to join this year. And just to help us kind of as a town, you know, come together and collaborate and be efficient with how we're serving our town with all the different departments and nonprofits and everything. So, and we truly appreciate this space. We're excited
Good.
to be there and come on over for a tour.
I know, I want to come back. I came one day and it was the day everybody was out. So I'm like, oh, darn, I'll have to come and see it.
We
So,
appreciate you offering. Yeah, thank you.
Great, could use
Right.
the space.
all right. So if I could get a motion to approve the lease renewals with New Canaan Cares and the New Canaan Chamber of Commerce.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Doug.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a renewal. So. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure because
They're big on that, yep, okay.
Okay,
Now we're motor.
Motorola, Russ.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So this is a request to pay our 5th year of 5 for the annual Motorola Public Safety Radio Service contract. And that is the 5th year of the contract, which provides for repair, maintenance, as well as advanced replacements of parts and components of the town-owned VHF public safety radio system, which is used daily by police, fire, EMS, CERT, Public Works, everybody. So as we own the hardware, software licenses, and the actual internet equipment that provides the backhauls from those various sites, we either use this contract and have an advanced replacement, or at an unknown time when something ends up being sunset, we get a big bill and told we have to upgrade pieces of equipment. So this prevents that unforecastable expenditure and kind of normalizes it over a 5-year period. And as a reminder, this the public safety radio system was upgraded and is the current system we have now in June of 2018, which was a $2.2 million project. So this keeps that sustained going forward. And it's a good system. It works very well for us.
So Russ, this is the last year of the contract?
Correct. And
But so the equipment that we have, it has So and I know we're kind of, I've been from the Board of Finance, it's like you're stuck with Motorola. They have kind of a monopoly on this, but the equipment that we own, do we anticipate, obviously do a new agreement with them, but that the equipment will be usable for some time after that,
Yes, and we'll be.
next 5 years?
Well,
we'll be using this stuff or?
The intent is I'm in the discussions phase with them now of renewing this contract for another 5-year term. And once I have the numbers around that, this is sort of a cost of doing business to maintain the system over time. I have not received those, although I've made it a estimate for the 5-year capital plan for budgetary purposes. However, the actual equipment itself has been refreshed and replaced with new equipment over every 2 years as part of this contract.
Okay.
So I have all sorts of things that they've replaced and the work that they've done to keep it so that it's compliant, up to date, and that's part of this contract.
Right.
So they replace actual physical hardware as well as software as part of this to keep it up
Oh,
to
it's
date.
part of the contract.
Correct.
Okay, but, okay.
And Russ, I thought it was very helpful in your presentation. You provided the minutes actually from the Board of Selectmen meeting back in August of 2021 and the approval of the contract back then, which, seeing that, it just refreshes our memory as far as, how we got to this point. And it's good to see that. The number was 749,144 that was approved. And it's just nice to see that. So I appreciate you including that.
Yeah, no worries. And I know we always talk about Motorola, and you're correct. They are the big fish, but we are exploring, myself and Chief Bassett. Kenwood is another manufacturer. It's not going to replace the backbone or the infrastructure, but at a substantially lower price, the actual portable radios and vehicle radios, we're going to get some of those, try them out, because they're almost half the price. And if we find that they're successful, they work well in the system, we'll start moving that direction.
Great.
I mean, of all the tools that we have in town for safety, this got to be in the top 1 or 2. I mean, you have to have this to.
This and functioning 911. Yep, those are pretty much the most important.
All right.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So no further questions. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Emergency Management Director to renew the annual Motorola Public Safety Radio Service Contract in the amount of $143,402.22 beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
Okay, Nick and Maria, WPCA or PCF.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you.
This is a request from the Public Works to purchase Hawken LDO probes from USA Blue Book. The plans are to replace all existing Hawken LDO probes on our aeration tanks, which are 5 years old. The probes are completely submerged in the biomass of our aeration tanks, 24/7, 365 days a year. These probes are essential in recording and controlling the auto wear system, which is an integral part of the nitrogen removal process required by our NPDES permit.
So it sounds like it's pretty critical.
Yes.
To, functioning.
It needs to have like a 5-year life. It's just be like every
Yes.
5 years we gotta do this. Okay.
I don't think anybody would be happy if we didn't approve this one.
No.
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
Do they just hang in there, Nick, or they move around, or they?
No, they're actually on,
Yeah.
poles inside the tanks, which go to the controllers all around the aeration tanks.
Great. Another learning moment.
Yes.
Thank you.
A lot of details
It's a
going
big-
into
big
running a
step of the
town.
process by adding the DO to the aeration process. That's how we change the ammonia to nitrogen.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to purchase Hatch pH and LDO probes in the amount of $21,704.42.
So moved.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Next is South Avenue relining.
Yes.
As we talk about more. It's
To
sort of
stay and
related.
keep me
How
company.
nice.
The Department of Public Works is respectfully requesting to enter into a contract with In Situ Form Technologies for services to reline an approximately 3,300 linear foot section of our sanitary sewer collection system in South Avenue. Services include cleaning, CCTV inspection, cured in place lining, and traffic control. Records indicate that this 8-inch sewer main along this section of South Avenue between Bank Street and Farm Road date back to 1942. With the Aquarian Water Company's Southwest Regional Pipeline Project to construct the new 36-inch water transmission line within South Avenue in such close proximity to our existing sewer main, it is prudent to reline this section of the sewer main. Given both the proposed deep excavation required for the water main installation and the physical installation of the water main itself, the relining of the existing sanitary sewer main will help to ensure its structural integrity and also delay the need for future repairs in such close proximity to the new water main. Aquarian has agreed to fund this work as a 100% reimbursement. In situ.
It is so unusual that we hear this in that town. 100% reimbursement.
Well, considering we're giving them 2 full summers of our.
It's nice. That 100% has nice ring. Yeah.
In situ form and the town are both members of the Omnia Group bidding service. Therefore, we're able to utilize the bidding service to receive the following competitive bid proposal for the proposed relining in the amount of $151,552. In situ form has successfully completed several sewer relining projects in town, and we've been very satisfied with their work. We are hereby requesting approval of a contract with In Situ Form for $151,552 plus a 10% contingency. This number is just slightly modified from what's in your memo, by the way, of $15,122 for a total project cost of $166,674.
So the total is fine. It's just the contingency numbers.
We double checked our math.
I thank you. I appreciate that. So is that, so what, I'm sorry, tell me the new contingency dollars.
So the new contingency dollars are $15,122 for a total of $166,674.
Okay.
The funds are available in our capital I&I account and will be 100% reimbursed by the Aquarian Water Company as part of their Southwest Regional Pipeline Project to construct the 36-inch water transmission line within South Avenue.
When is this work going to be done?
So we've been in contact with them and they say that they probably need a 2-week setup time in order to start their cleaning and their TV work. And then post that, we're thinking it's probably going to be about a week in total. So right now, as part of this agreement, traffic control is anticipated. A lot of the main is down the center of the road. Some is off to the side. What had happened in Cross Street when we did the same similar relining, we were able to keep the road open. We had traffic control to help divert traffic.
So will they pay for the traffic control as
Yes,
well?
that's part. Yep, that's included.
Oh, it's included in
Yes,
this.
as part of
Okay.
the 151.
So I mean, I know we're trying to open South Ave for school. And so then this is, school's going to be open and we're going to be down to.
It should be already open. South Avenue should be is already
Okay,
open.
I'm sorry.
That's
Anyway,
okay.
but so,
Yep.
we're kind of,
Having to,
too bad it wasn't done at the same
It
time.
will stay open. We won't have to close it.
Just be a little more crowded. Okay.
Yeah. And this sewer line is to the side of where the 36 inches going main, or is it below?
So it's to the side, but it depends on where along South Avenue because the main changes location. Both the sewer main and the water transmission main changed location. But we're just, the fact that it's a 36-inch main that requires sheeting and shoring and the width of the excavation in that area, and it's clay pipe from 1942, that this is prudent work to do to give it both structural integrity and also in the future know that we have 3,000 linear feet of basically brand new main, so that we don't anticipate if we have to go in and make any repairs that we would have to deal with such close proximity to a water main.
So here's a question. So we got 3,000 feet. So after the 3,000 feet, are we back to 1942 pipes?
As an aside, as part of our global I&I study, we are going to be coming back because there are sections within our collection system that AECom has identified that are ripe for curing the in situ form technologies is cured in place lining. So we will be back. There is another small segment on South Avenue, but it's not in the same vicinity as this work. And this, like we said, is being
Yes, it's a
100%
disruption of the work that puts it at risk, not so
for
much,
here.
not so much the
Exactly.
age. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, we actually, Deanna and I happened to walk that site with Tiger and looked at the stretch that is going to be done. And it's, Tiger deserves some credit for negotiating the fact that he recognized that there was a danger to not do this work. And if they were going to be in there, excavating down there, there was a real strong possibility that something could happen. So this is really, a lot to do with recognizing that that was a danger, and Tiger, stepping up and saying, hey, if you're going to do this, we want you to guarantee that this isn't going to happen. So that's where that 100% came in, which is, it's a big deal that he was able to do that.
Mhm.
But to your point, Amy, it would be nice to get the whole thing done, but this is the part that they're disturbing, and they feel they're responsible for it. So, but I think it's a very nice trade-off to be able to get that done. Yes, we're ripping a Band-Aid off. Yes, we're disturbing that area again, but once it's done, and then we're, then we don't have to look at it again. So I applaud the effort. And, the one question I had was how long, when we have experience at Cross Street, how many went with a project of this length? Do we know about how long that's going to take? Is it 2 weeks or is it?
We anticipate actually the work being done in 1 week.
1 week.
Cross Street was actually less than a day.
Yeah.
But as you can imagine, most of this is the mobilization. And there's going to probably anticipate two
Two, yes.
mobilization setups just based on flow of sewer. Like there's actually, one goes down here,
Part of it goes down Oak Street and the other part goes down Woodland.
Woodland. That's
From a resident standpoint, during that one day, they're going to be without water or
No.
for that. No,
No.
no,
There's
no
no
interruption.
shut down anything.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just one more time, as far as the way that the process works, if people don't know that this works, can you describe how that sock goes in there and just expands?
Sure. So they have to have a setup on both ends of a run. So you'd be going in on one manhole
Yep.
and coming out on the other manhole section. And basically what they do, in probably just the simplest terms, is that they feed this sock through the manhole.
Blow it through with a big compressor, like a sock.
Blows it up and then it just hardens in there.
So it's an ultraviolet light that actually goes through and
Expands it. Yeah.
well, and hardens it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
Okay. After you blow it through. Okay.
exactly.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
Again, learning something new today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
All right. Any other questions?
That's it.
If not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with In Situ Form Technologies LLC in the amount of $151,552 plus a contingency in the amount of $15,122 for a total cost of $166,674. The project entails the relining of a sewer pipe in the section of South Avenue, and the funds for the purchase will be provided by Aquarian Water Company.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, Stacy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the parking department requests approval for fiscal year 26, a purchase order in the amount of $42,000. This is to pay for the banking and transaction fees for our current mobile app, which is called Pay by Phone. So these banking and transaction fees, what they actually are is the reimbursement or the return of the convenience fees that the customer pays when they use our app to pay for parking. What initially happens is Pay by Phone deposits not only the parking fee, but their convenience fees that they charge the customer directly into the town's account. And at the end of the month, I am billed for those convenience fees, and they invoice me, and we pay them those convenience fees back. So that is what this $42,000 purchase order request is.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So do the convenience fees basically pay for this 42,000? I think I'm a little confused how it works.
Basically, we are getting these convenience fees initially deposited into our account, and then we're invoiced at the end of the month. So you can look at it as a
Kinda
net
like a break
zero.
even?
Yeah,
Is it a
yeah,
break even?
you're
Okay,
breaking
thank
even.
you.
Yeah.
Why do they do it that way? I'm confused.
That is a good question that I can't answer, but it seems like all the mobile apps, even the new ones that we will be getting for this initiative, will be doing the same thing. They initially just do it and bill us at the
Make
end
an
of the month.
estimate? Do they just make an estimate for the month of what they think based on past history, and then they put that in our account, and then they?
No, it's the actual, they'll actually keep track of the transactions and each person's transaction. So let's say I use the app 3 times to pay for my parking. It'll be 30 cents each time. They keep track of the transactions. It would be 90 cents that they will bill me for, but they put the 90 cents initially into our account.
Okay, so it's a complete wash.
Complete wash.
Okay.
Yep. It just goes into
So
one
you're
account and we
estimating
take it.
Your estimate is
I am
42,000.
taking it out,
It might
yeah,
not be.
based on what our monthly bill is currently. So,
Yep. Sort of. Straightforward, but sort of. Okay, so if I could get a motion to approve a request from the parking department manager of an FY 26 purchase order with pay by phone in the amount of $42,000 in order to process monthly billing for pay by phone banking and transaction fees.
So
Second.
It's unanimous.
is this why you're here?
Yeah.
Like the machines downtown, how's that coming along?
right now, they're working on programming the machines. So
I mean, are we
Yes.
looking at September or are we looking at October or what are we?
more likely, I'm thinking September. I don't want to officially say that because we are. Oh, yeah.
But we weren't expecting them.
Yeah,
until
till the end of
Right.
August.
Till the end of August.
Um,
So, with a couple of things that we're still working on, a couple of programming issues, more likely sometime in September, they'll be up.
And you will be seeing 2 new contracts from 2 more parking apps, mobile apps that people can use. So we've been working on getting those contracts fleshed out properly.
Yeah.
And the really positive news is we've been working really, really hard on getting this communication pieces together. We've got a couple of different documents, for a better word,
Yeah.
that we're going to handouts, if you will. We've got
um,
one that the merchants are going to be able to keep in their stores. It's just a 8.5 by 11 folded in half with a full map listing all of the parking options, where you can park, where's free, which is a list this long, paid is this. And obviously then a full link to her site. But that, we feel like communication is going to be so key to all of this. So we're just trying to make
That's
sure we've
the
got
main
that
thing.
completely buttoned up.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of learning and a lot of
Lot of
patience,
learning,
a lot of patience on both sides.
Absolutely, yeah.
There was a lot more
More aware.
involved on the back end.
Yeah.
How to use the machine.
Yes, we're gonna make a
deciding who-
video. We
who
are.
the actors going to be demonstrating so it can go out?
Any
No,
volunteers?
No.
And all of, it's you, once this is up and running and you're in Elm Street, you're paying immediately. There's no 15-minute grace period. Wherever you are, is there?
Correct. But
Park
again,
Street, yeah.
we are going to, be out there. It's going to be smooth. We're not going to go out there and it's going to be from one extreme, like going free parking and then all of a sudden paid parking. And if you're not doing it correctly or things are happening, we're going to transition. It's going to be, we're going to transition people, get them used to it. And we're not going to be out there just.
It might be
skidding,
good. It
right.
might be good to actually put it in writing as far as what the date is that's going to happen, whether it's after the holidays or whatever that is. Where
Once
it's like,
we kind
January
of get
1st
a little
or-
bit more of a confirmation on it, we definitely will get that out there. But right now, like I said, our hope was getting the machines by the end of August and hoping to get it by the end of August. And that doesn't look like that's the case at this time. But once we narrow down a date that we're going to get the actual delivery and installation and everything, apps up and running and all of that will be put out there.
Yeah.
But we don't want to put out anything prematurely until we actually know
So are you going to function, and once this is in place, from your department, you guys going to have basically have to do like continuously going up and down Elm Street? I mean,
Well,
you
that's what
get-
we do now,
Yeah, I mean,
continuously,
yeah,
but it actually.
but I mean,
be-
like, every 15 minutes, I mean, so.
It'll be actually a little easier because we'll be able to see on our handhelds who's paid, who's not paid. So it'll work more like the lots, Elm Street and South Avenue will work more like the lots than just going up and down the timed parking. But yeah, we'll have to be out there consistently, going up to see who's paying, who's not paying. Being in the lots, Park Street is going to be a little different of a challenge because now it's timed. So that's going to be the turnover. That's what we have to watch, that people are out of there after their 3 hours. So it's going to more work like Elm and South are working now up in Park Street. So for us, it's also going to be a little change that we'll have to get used to as well.
We also, a group of us took a walk a couple weeks ago and looked at all the
That's signage.
signage, literally every sign in every lot as you approach town from every angle. We did a whole inventory list of signs that we need to add. There's many that can now come down, which is great. So that's also been something that we really just want to make sure we're going to be able to put all of this together in one spot for everybody to find it.
Make sure the signage is clear so everyone understands exactly what they need to do, where they need to pay, how much time they have on the streets, in the lots and everything like that.
Right.
And I don't think Tiger's online. Is he online?
He is on Zoom. I don't know if he's listening at this very
Okay, I
moment.
don't know
but-
if he's out of the office today, but so in advance of the machines, there will be pads going in, so people will be able to see where the new machines will be going, because
Okay.
we're gonna get those
Yep.
in early, so that once the machines actually come in, they
They
can
can
just
be
be set.
installed right away.
Great.
Okay,
All right.
any other questions?
Thanks, Stacey.
Thanks,
Thank
Stacy.
you. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the parking department.
No,
Did
we
I already
did.
do
We did.
that?
Yeah, we did.
Sorry,
We did. We
sorry,
did.
sorry. I'm like, that sounds familiar. Okay,
off the track.
EV chargers, Joe. I marked it off and then I was like, wait, that sounds familiar.
Good morning.
No, we talked about that. I'll have to ask you later. I'm not sure. Okay, sorry.
Problem. So I'm here today for the installation of EV chargers at Morse Court. The Department of Public Works requested a proposal from Santella Electric to provide and install one level 2 charger over at Morse Court. Santella was asked to provide the same charging station as installed at the town hall, so it'll mimic that one exactly. It'll be the same provider, so everything will work seamlessly. And
There are 2 EV chargers at Morse, right?
One.
One, it's just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we thought that, I mean, I'll just back up. We thought that those were, Eversource was eating the electricity,
Mhm.
because
But
that
we
was
are?
but they weren't.
Oh, forget that.
So we had that disengage, and then we found out that we couldn't with the existing EV charger charge like we do here at the annex and so we had to, this
Okay.
is the request to have a charger that we can actually charge residents or whoever wants to use them to use the electricity.
right, the other one was just a plug, and this one's a smart charger that allows us to charge people.
So does the other one
Yeah.
come out?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Is this a 2-cord or a 1-cord? Can 2 cars go on this one or?
That the one that we're placing over there is the 1 cord.
1-cord.
Any other questions?
But is it the free stuff, is it 2 now? I mean, is it 1 or 2? What do we have over there?
There's only one there now.
We're
and we're only replacing it
exactly
with,
what we have.
Okay.
Just with the
Sorry, I
ability.
just wanted,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
ability
this
to just.
I just wanted to make sure we had exactly what we have and we are
But
replacing.
but better, because
exactly. Yes, but now
you
we
pay
can
for it.
charge.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
So the Department of Public Works is requesting approval to enter into a contract with Santella for a contract value of $14,100 plus a contingency of $1,400 for a total of $15,500. And the funds are available. They're available in 2 accounts. I didn't mention one of them because I was still seeking it, and it's going to be funded $10,390 from from one account, and the other account is going to be the DPW outside services line item. That it's in the memo. It's just blank in the
Yeah.
memo.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so from the town's perspective, we put it in, we make in the resident, whoever uses it pays the electricity. Do we have any?
Parking rate too. So I
yeah.
think we're doing the same thing we've done here at.
Parking rate, good.
There's a parking
built in.
rate and the electricity.
All right, so do we get a upcharge on the electricity, so there's revenue coming to us, or is it just straight pass through?
It's more or less a pass through. There's a little bit of,
It's
there's a
service.
little bit of money in the fee, but it's basically a pass through cost.
Thanks.
Yeah, because there should be a little bit in there to service the machine if it needs anything.
Yeah.
Replace cord or whatever.
Yeah, that's a
you
good
know,
point.
so-
Just a little.
good
Yeah,
point.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we want to make a service, but we don't want to have to.
Yeah. That's a
So-
good point.
The
Just
memo that was
yeah.
provided previously, and if it's not,
Yeah, that's a good thing that not for today, but down the road to really kind of look at the three chargers and look at their useful life and say, how long is
Yeah.
it before we're gonna have to replace them? And then, build into the fee we charge a replacement. That's actually, we didn't do that
Yeah.
real extensively. So I think that's a really good.
Yeah, and
idea.
I don't think it's gonna be a barrier to anybody who needs to
No.
charge. You're just gonna charge it, but
No.
if there's a repair and replacement charge on top of it.
Yep.
So when you set the rates, we should do that.
Good idea.
fees were benched in a little higher than the surrounding area. So,
When you need to charge, you charge.
yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Okay, if no other questions, I'm not gonna reread it because you did a good job of reading the memo. But just adding the project entails the installation of a level 2 EV charger at the Morse Court parking lot. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, Bill.
Morning, buddy.
I just can't see.
No, I agree. It's
pretty bad.
I'm there.
So we went out to the bid for the roof project on the annex building back here. Prior to the bidding process, we had a structural engineer involved. We actually got up on the roof, did some cuts, discovered some interesting things, a little bit of rot, water damage in one corner of the building. Also, if you look at the building, you'll notice that you can see the beams protruding through the roof line, the outline of them. And we also discovered that the roof is actually sliding off. It's slid about 2 inches already,
It's what?
sliding off. That's why we're losing some shingles, and it's over the years, and because of the slope of the roof is so severe that it's sliding down. And
How old is this roof? When was the building built?
it was 03 we built it. 2003, I think we built it. It's like
22 years.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't go over this roof. Like at your
No,
home, you kind of go over it. You can't.
So the engineer studied the roof, and his recommendation is actually to cover the roof, resheath it, the entire roof with 1.25 inch panels, tongue and groove to kind of bind it all together, tighten up that whole roof system up there. And then we had the options of either a standing metal seam roof, a roof like what you're looking at right now to match the same design, or just do a single color. The original design, when they built it, when they did it, actually had provisions in there for a standing seam metal roof, but they, I guess maybe the cost prohibited that at the time, so they went with the shingle roof. The standing seam roof would get you 50, 60, 70 years, depending on how you always maintained it. There's a lot of controversy how far it could go. There's some saying even longer than that. The shingle roof is going to be just a 30-year standard shingle roof color, no matter what color, how you do it on that there. The only difference is if they do the shingle roof, there may be, they probably have to glue it down also to try to help it, keep it from sliding off that
To
slope.
do what?
Glue it on top of nailing it just so that it doesn't slide off start sliding again. So there was some,
Did you say the engineer are we putting down not flooring, subroofing all the way on it? It doesn't have that now? Is it?
so what they did was they built that was a prefab delivered here on a truck basically, and what is up there is structural insulated panels. So they're like 5 feet by 20 foot. So when they put the roof, they just put these panels and it's insulation inside of them. Because if you recall, when you go inside the building, you look up, you see nice finished tongue and groove pine. There's that, then these insulated panels, because it was a requirement to have insulation, put the paneling, and then they put the roof over that. Over time, those panelings tend to move and got all weird, and that's why you can see the columns going up. So the thought is here to stiffen it up statically and to make it a nice clean surface to put a nice roof on it. And is to put, he wants to use 1.25 inch. It's like a plywood material, but it's actually a roofing material, and do the whole entire roof. And then you'll screw it right down through the insulated panels, right into all the purlins that go across. The purlins are the beams that go sideways this way across inside. And
So the inside, you'll still have the visual, right?
on the inside, it'll look identical just as it is. We're not touching the inside. We just got to reinforce the outside a little bit and decide. And I'm showing all three options because I know there's a big difference in pricing, and I think it's just fair for you folks to kind of weigh in on this. We did budget for the standing metal roof, and there's money in the budget to do the metal roof. And but the other options are also, like I said, there's a big difference in cost. Deanna and I were talking about, well, okay, so if you, how long you get to stand the metal seam, if we did the shingles, how long do we get out of that? Is it, 2 roofs, 2.5 roofs compared to one metal roof?
Hey, Bill, with a roof this steep, especially like I know like Vermonters like you, there's metal roofs. I mean, we don't get a lot of snow anymore, right? But when you do get snow and ice, it's like super dangerous, the stuff coming off these metal roofs. I mean, so would you have to also build in some sort of protection?
Yes, snow guards, double set of snow guards will be going across the entire roof.
But do we have snow guards on the asphalt? Right?
They're different types. Those are like they're like a little emblem sticking up, and they catch the snow. I'm not a fan of those types because they tend to bend, especially when you get ice. They've been holding up pretty good. But I'd go with the bar system up there. It's a good system. We've used it on a lot of roofs. A lot of slate roofs, you'll see them, because slate roof behaves the same way as metal
It's
roofs.
like 3 bars.
Yeah, it's like 3 bars stacked like this.
Yeah, that's what you see.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Choose something. When
So you need something. I'm not so much worried about snow as much when it ices up and then it wants to come off. And you'll see it on, like I said, all the slate roofs. It's the same system that they use for snow guards.
Have we had issues with the parking along the side there over the years with anything coming off that roof? And because that's a
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, no, I don't know if it's been lucky or it's just hasn't really been much snow. To be honest with you, it's interesting because that roof is because of the angle of that roof. The snow doesn't want to really accumulate on that roof. You don't really see.
Yeah.
It's pretty steep.
It off, and then a warm day melts it right off. So it really hasn't been a problem.
Yeah, because I don't remember anything sliding off of there.
No.
Well, we don't have a lot of weather.
No, I mean, I remember shoveling a lot of roofs in the years when we had snow, and that's never been a problem.
You couldn't shovel that one. You couldn't stand up there.
I go up there.
So you're saying in the capital budget this year, you budgeted for the metal? There was your placeholder?
Yes, ma'am.
On it. Okay.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So we had 5 people potentially going to bid it. One bidder got the dates mixed up and he was a week late, unfortunately. Antonelli, who's bidded a lot of roofs, and then Armortite Construction Group is he's a new roofing contractor I never worked with, but I met with him, spent some time with him, and followed up on all his references, and only qualified to do the job. There's a lot of metal roofs actually, and he works with a lot of the same architects and roofing consultants that we've worked with in the past. So they vouched for him, said, no, he does great work. Matter of fact, even his competitor, Antonelli, even made a comment that he liked, Larry, he does good work, so.
Is everybody approaching the sub roof the same way where they would drill that down into that foam? So
Right through it.
what are those screws? Those screws are catching into that foam stuff?
12
Is that-
inches long, 3/8 inch diameter, like a lag bolt almost with a flush head. It was engineered by a structural engineer on how to do it, and it's going to be a lot of screwing down, and it'll definitely tighten up the whole building and prevent any more failures that we're seeing.
So what's there is solid enough to anchor what?
Yeah, you're pinching it right in there.
Yeah.
So what happens is, you have that press wood. Everybody sees the press wood they use these days. Well, there's some water damage, and once water hits press wood, it just crumbles apart. So this will also help that and gives your integrity back to those areas. We know one area. We're anticipating coming across some other areas possibly.
And you've made cuts in there to know what's.
Yeah, we made some cuts. So.
What do we spend to get the structural engineering on this? Do you remember? I'm just curious the whole
I
project.
don't know off the top of my head. It
You don't
wasn't, it wasn't a lot of money. Yeah, I think it was probably somewhere in there, if not less.
It's just good to know what the whole number is. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see, I can send that to you if you'd like.
So timing on this, what, are we looking to get this done sooner rather than later? Is that the?
Yeah, I was really trying to get this out this summer, but waiting for the Department of Labor with their labor rates to send me, they're a little behind up there apparently. So I finally got the package from them, put this out to bid. And so we'd like to get it done.
If we're doing
I mean,
before.
if we get to, like immediately. And try to take advantage of some of the slow time that we can, because we are going to lose some parking temporarily back there.
So our decision really comes down to which option we want to do.
So I did like a, discounted cash flow or, and basically assume 2.5% inflation with our cost of capital. And there's probably a reason that the bid for the metal roof is what it is, because it's about the same.
It's break even.
It's a break even, but that building is 22 years old, and all I can think about is, the police station where, we do a renovation and then we had a perfectly good roof on part of the building, but because we were doing a renovation, they wanted to,
we had 10-year-old roof.
Yeah. So they said, you know what, we're just gonna redo the whole roof. And I'm like, in another 20 years, that building is gonna need work. I mean, it's just how it goes. So I'm not sure that putting in a roof that's a 50-year roof on a building that's already going to be, that's going to need probably work in the next 20 years is the smartest idea right now. And given that we've got, Irwin's going to come in higher than we anticipated. And, we've got some big capital projects. To me, my thought is to just replace what we have with the design that's there, and we'll have another roof for another 20 to 30 years. And then we have the capital, we could deploy the capital that we don't put on this to some other projects that are, out there. But
I agree. I mean, metal roof is gorgeous and everything, but I think it's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
And this building, remember, we weren't sure what to do with this building for a while. And it's hard to say in going forward if we're definitely going to use it. Because I mean, the bottom floor is used, but the top floor is rented out for dance studios. So I think it's too much money to put into a maybe not mission critical building. Personally.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's weather tight, but it's not like it's,
Right.
It would be pretty, but it's pretty, but it's also kind of in a parking lot. It's not like the whole world's going to see it.
So option 2, then, are we talking about matching the original layout in terms of color or?
Yeah, I mean, it would be, you're saying it's just because there's those little diamonds in the roof.
Got a pattern.
Yeah.
Got design on it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of controversy over that whole design, either you love it or you hate it.
I'm
not going to weigh in on the design. Does
You
anyone?
go to a solid
have
color or
longer
you go with the
history
same
that. I
thing.
mean, that whole building was.
It was really to give us, it was sort of to be fun because it was the teen center. It was going to be.
So do we need the design? Maybe we don't need the design then. Okay, I don't care. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't care. I'm not married to the design. So if people have strong opinions about the design,
It's a $5,000.
That's strictly aesthetics. I mean,
Okay.
you're paying for.
It's not a lot.
Pay for labor for the difference between a solid and that. And
okay.
I'm fine with keeping it the way it looks.
It's fine. I can support that.
I can support keeping it the way it is.
Yeah,
All
there's some history there, so it's nice
Yeah.
to keep it.
But thank you for bringing us the
Yeah.
options. It's good to know the optionality.
And if anybody out there wants to donate the difference for a metal roof, we're happy to.
There we
talk
go.
about
There we go. Okay. So I guess we would be approving the armor tight option 2.
yeah,
So that's the 194,500 plus.
10% contingency we put on that
Okay, so that's the 213
213,
total. Is that right?
total. Yeah, I am asking for the 10%, even though it sounds like a big number, only because we really don't know if we end up getting to more rot somewhere that we're unfamiliar with. So I just want to make sure I got enough to cover it in case we have a problem.
How do they install a roof that steep? I mean, because generally roofers are up there, like, trained it. I didn't want to know. Okay, so.
Well, we'll let you down when they're doing it and go up there with them.
Write this down, so get this right. All right, so if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Armor Tight Construction Group in the amount of $194,500 plus a contingency in the amount of $19,450 for a total cost of $213,950 for installing of a new roofing system at the Town Hall Annex.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dumpster rentals. Dumpsters, sewer treatment plants, it's like.
All kinds of stuff.
Not exactly rec programs.
Here for a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Murphy Road in the amount of $10,932 for dumpster service at 6 locations. The fire department, the police department and ambulance corps, which only does the cardboard. At the high school, both the New Canaan High School track and the tennis court areas. Those are for the fields, along with the Waveney Field bathroom and the west parking lots. Those are dumpsters that we use for the public, whether they're disposing stuff after an athletic thing or poop bags or what have you. So.
Is this for the whole year? 10,000?
Whole year.
For the whole year?
Yes.
All right, any questions?
We still have problems with people putting stuff in these public ones they shouldn't, don't we? It's a hard one to.
We got more and more cameras going in.
We do have problems with people bringing household waste per se. We've even had a full-size couch put in one of these dumpsters at Mead Park, standing up. It's not part of this one, but it's.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It is not expensive to get a permit for the transfer station.
Yeah.
So.
And John, we've eliminated a lot of the waste baskets or trash cans in the parks, and this has worked well over the years to try to keep the trash off the fields and keep it from blowing around. And
it actually works very well. People don't see it because when you see litter, you figure, oh, if there's a trash can there, it will be in the trash can. But this avoids 2 major problems: squirrels and crows. Pick trash out of cans all the time and spread it. And also people have the knack of just putting out there. The labor savings on dumping trash is huge, is a lot. And most people respect the parks and do the right thing, but we notice the ones that don't. That's the problem.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
So if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Murphy Road in the amount of $10,932 to provide dumpsters at various locations in town.
so moved.
Second.
It's
Thank you.
unanimous.
Thanks, John.
Thank
So
you.
do they basically, empty them. Is this dumping fees included on this for the
Yes.
stuff?
Yep, this is the whole thing. So that's a service of having the dumpster there and dumping it once a week.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Good.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, intersection improvements, Maria.
Great, thank you. Good morning again. As part of the town's intersection improvement plan, the Department of Public Works is respectfully requesting to enter into a contract with Fuss & O'Neill for professional engineering design services to prepare a Western Council of Governments, WESCOG, local transportation capital improvement plan, LOTSIP, solicitation to submission to revise the intersection of Old Stamford Road, which is Route 106, and Farm Road. And I am joined this morning by Gina Muzinski from Fuss & O'Neill, should you also have any additional questions. The project entails the redesign of the intersection and traffic signals to accommodate additional turning lane or lanes at the intersection in order to help alleviate commuter traffic and associated school traffic. For years, this intersection has been plagued with its challenges. Fuss and O'Neill will perform an engineering analysis of the intersection to develop a conceptual design package for a WestCog lot SIP solicitation. The overall reconstruction of the intersection is anticipated to cost approximately $1.5 million. Lot SIP funds, therefore, are being sought to cover the construction expenses. Per the Lot SIP program guidelines, though, engineering and design fees are the responsibility of the municipality. WestCog will be advertising for another round of Lot SIP funding in late September with solicitations due in October, November. Fuss and O'Neill's scope of work for the solicitation entails evaluating available data, performing field investigations for turn movements, and the preparation of a conceptual design plan proposing intersection improvements to allow for designated turn lanes. Along with anticipated town coordination and plan review, Fuss and O'Neill would then submit the conceptual design plan and findings for the WestCog Lot SIP solicitation. Fuss and O'Neill proposes to complete this work for $20,500 for a conceptual plan preparation and $4,000 for associated meetings and responses for a combined total of $24,500. We recommend that the contract be awarded to Fuss and O'Neill for $24,500 for the WestCog Lot SIP solicitation submission. Funds are currently available in our DPW capital accounts.
So is it the hope that the total cost, if this 1.5 million potential cost, that is a grant money we get?
Yes, so that is the intent of actually doing this, submitting for the solicitation. So this would be the first step of engineering design fees that we would be covering. And if we are successful in obtaining a grant from Lot SIP, from WestCog, then we would then go forward for the next step of design fees, which anticipates to be approximately 10% of the total construction fees. So if we are successful with the Lot SIP program granting us the construction fees, we would then go forward into the full design plans.
So we don't have to spend any more money as a town beyond this 24 unless we are
successful
in getting the intersection paid for.
And at which point we would have another $150,000 expense plus or minus. So we'd be in for 170,000. Now, here's a question. If this design goes forward and they don't choose us, by having this design in place, are we forced to then do the change in this intersection?
Absolutely not. And what we would do if they don't choose us, some years there might be more viable, or some solicitation, excuse me, there might be more viable applicants. There might be times when there's heavier emphasis on cities rather than smaller towns. We would just anticipate to resubmit at a next solicitation and or also explore other potential grant opportunities. And what Fuss and O'Neill was saying is that for any of those grant opportunities to get to this point of this conceptual design plan is the first step. So we would be able to use this information for obviously a second solicitation if we had to through Lot SIP, but also if there are other available grant opportunities. Lot SIP is the strongest contender to really be able to meet what we need and have 100% of construction costs. So this is our primary goal, but we could use this effort that we're asking for today for a different grant opportunity as well, submission.
Right.
And Fuss and O'Neill's role here is to take this project and basically shepherd it as far into the process, I guess, as possible. Right?
Exactly. And they have had history working with other municipalities, Stanford for being one of them, with the Lot SIP program, with our WestCog contingent.
Are we hedging any bets as far as where we are here?
Gina, I'll give you that one.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Musinski from Fuss and O'Neill. Can you just confirm you can hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So in our experience working with Westcog and looking at the solicitation package that's a draft right now, Westcog is intending to commit $11 million worth of funding for this year. In our history, typically what they try and do is prioritize smaller projects, which this is where your project would fall, because the cap for funding is $4 million per project. So basically, the odds are better because you have a project that's looking more towards the $1.5 million range for construction costs. So although we can't promise anything, the odds are definitely better because they are able to commit to more projects that way.
So how do well, if they approve it as long as it's shovel ready? So we have to have all the plans in place to be able to go, or, I mean,
No, because this doesn't, we won't, they would have to approve. My understanding is that we don't have to spend any dollars beyond this 24.5 or whatever this number is.
24.5, yep.
Until LOTS approves it or Westcog approves it, then we'd have to have all the
design
extra spending. We wouldn't spend the money to make it
Yeah.
shovel ready until we're approved, correct?
Correct. So the way that the process goes from here is we'll make the submission for the solicitation, and that's essentially like almost a entry-level submission. And they'll review all of the solicitations and make a selection based on those for what would move forward into a full application. And then following that would be construction documents. In our experience, we've never had a project that went through solicitation and didn't get the actual commitment to fund. There is some back and forth that happens after the solicitation with the Connecticut Department of Transportation that we've shepherded as well. In transparency, like that's something that we would anticipate. But the end result, to your point, is that you would know after the solicitation if you're eligible to move forward for that full coverage of the construction costs.
So how much, when you said that there'll be some back and forth, so do we pay you guys on an hourly basis for that shuttling after this 24.5 and in addition to the 10% of the project costs?
So oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was going to say that your proposal actually outlines some of that.
Yes, so from this point, the 24,500 is what would be for the solicitation, and then we would anticipate an application, full application, which uses actually every piece that we compile for the solicitation. There's a couple additional pieces of information we would include as well. And Fuss O'Neill would issue you a proposal for that. That's a lump sum fee. And from there, we do turn to hourly rates for comments for the quote unquote back and forth between the Westcog and the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Typically, this goes to Westcog first, and they basically iron everything out and make sure that it's to all the standards that they would require for it to move forward. And then they'll send it to the Department of Transportation where there's minimal back and forth at that stage. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds of comments that are all minor because at that point it's been well vetted through every process.
So can you, just because we've had a couple projects on the LOTSIP grant list for as long as I've been first selectman, which isn't that long, but 2 years, and it,
they don't move very fast.
They don't move very fast. So, if we involve you in this project, sort of, what is your anticipated, sort of timing of, because I do see projects getting through, they're just not our projects.
Absolutely. So basically lots of timeline as there is a process and it does take time. Lots of funding is committed for 6 years. So you have a 6-year timeline to get the project completed from when it's committed. And basically from there, that's per the LOTSIP guidelines that are published from the Connecticut Department of Transportation. So we would essentially work with your group, we would provide you with proposals and whatnot. We'd go through the whole process and we'd help bring you through. But the transition time takes, it's based on the design phase. And then as far as your team goes, getting through the actual contracting and getting the contractors out there. In my experience, between now and a year from now is when we'd be ready to produce those construction documents. So we'd submit the solicitation in November, and then the full applications are typically due in early spring. And then we're working with the WestCog and Connecticut Department of Transportation for plus or minus 6 months. It completely depends on the project. And then from there, we would move forward with your town to establish a design plan, I'll say. Those dates all also get outlined in the solicitation. So in transparency, I don't have them concrete in front of me, but it's something we would work with Tiger and Maria and your team to make sure that it aligns with what you're comfortable with, in addition to what's realistic from the constructability perspective. But you'll know that at the end of this solicitation process.
So if I understood you correctly, and please correct me if I'm incorrect, if we are selected and we go to spend the dollars to do the construction documents and move forward and get on that list, it should be within 6 years that that project, once it's accepted, should be able to move forward.
That's correct. Yep.
Can I back up this? So in terms of how we come up with projects that we say, oh, we're going to apply for this money, is it, and I guess it's sources of the DPW, is it because there's this pile of money out there, we go, oh, let's apply for this and we only have to pay 10 or 20%. It's a nice to have, but not necessarily critical.
Well, I think, I mean, in the conversations that I had with Maria and Tiger in advance of this meeting, it is
it's congested. I bet
and they get a lot of complaints.
Okay.
So they've been getting a lot of complaints, and you can confirm that they get a lot of.
It's actually one of the parts of the submission is if there documentation of the need. And in the past with some of the sidewalk projects, we actually had petitions that were submitted as part of that. And so we would just provide all the documentation that for the need in this area. But you are correct. We have to anticipate projects that we know that might have a longer, might be able to survive a longer lead time because of this, what we anticipate to be a 4 to 6 year process.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about lead time. I was talking about is it because there's this program out there, we come up with projects? I mean, would we do this project if we did not have a potential 80% cost recovery on it? I mean,
while
you know what I mean? It's
right. No,
like,
I understand.
Nice to have versus
while we consider it a definite need in the priorities list, it is not hitting our 5-year.
Right.
But that does not mean that it is not an important goal for our town. It's just that knowing that we have limited available dollars, we want to be prudent with that. And so because there are dollars that fit into this transportation, this LOTSIP program, we would like to try to take advantage to correct a need in our community.
So I was going to ask earlier, and this is a good time to ask, I guess, because this is a state road, you know, you've got a few things going on here. You've got its proximity to the Merritt, you've got the Metro North train overpass, and you've got the fact that it's a state road. So you combine all those things together. This should, in terms of a grant, a state grant, it should open up somebody's eyes and say, yeah, this is an issue. There's a bottleneck here. There's a big issue going on here. So I think that's one of the reasons why this project makes a lot more sense than doing like a local sidewalk on Main Street, for instance. I mean, this is a state road, state issues, and you know, to me, this is a good thing to ask. So hopefully that'll give it a little bit more priority, if you will, against that $11 million that's out there. So
just to piggyback on what you were just mentioning as well, having what Maria was talking about, having the background of your residents being concerned or having safety concerns has always historically helped these applications as well. rather than, going from a list or trying to select it in that fashion. Having the documentation that Maria and Tiger have for this historically provides additional, I'll call it points for lack of a better term. That's how they typically score it. It's on a point basis. So you get additional leverage having that available. And we would include it with the solicitation as well.
I mean, it's a feeder road to our senior center, and it's a feeder road to three of our schools, the high school, Saks, and South are all along that corridor there. So there's a safety issue there as well. So there's a lot to the argument. So
Well, everybody's rushing to get to the train too.
yeah, Talmadge is there. I mean, it's
And the Merritt entrance.
yeah.
It's a super, yeah. It's super
Also
congested there.
something that we would include as well, that your town has tried to implement additional means. We've worked with Tiger and Maria on a school zone implementation for that area. In addition to the rapid flashing beacon, it's the flashing crosswalk on Route 106. So all of that also better the application because you've invested already to get some betterment, and this would help facilitate that, like bringing it to a complete project where you've implemented multiple facets.
All right.
All right.
All right. So if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Fuss and O'Neill in the amount of $24,500. The project entails the initial engineering of a possible redesign of the intersection of traffic signals at Route 106 and Old Stamford Road and Farm Road intersection.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
Gina?
And Tiger is not in today. He's. Yeah, so we'll just.
We can skip it.
All right. Next item is the town clerk update. She's decided she doesn't want to attend today, so maybe Cheryl could give us an update. Yes.
Any update on the Irwin House?
Oh, yeah, sure, Joe. Sorry. You're sitting back there. Okay, yes, that would be great. Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry, it'd be a good one to skip.
I was looking at Tiger's name and I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So as you know, we went out to back up a little bit. We had the environmental work performed by Fuss and O'Neill. They went through the building, spent about a week out at Irwin House, and they identified all the asbestos and lead and everything else that would be hazardous materials required for the demolition of the building. They put together a scope and a bid package, and we put it out to bid. We received 2 bids for the project of around 600. Both of the bids were $650,000. Yeah, so there was a lot more. Well, when we gave you the budget, we didn't have the advantage of having all the week and a half of Fuss and O'Neill digging and poking and prodding. And unfortunately, the vintage of this building, it seems like they liked asbestos a lot. They put it on everything. It's in on the pipes. It's also in a lot of the waterproofing. It's underneath on underlayment, so it's more of the difficult asbestos to remove, and it has to be removed prior to demolition, and the building has to be cleared. So, so the $650,000 is obviously more than we had $400,000 all in for the abatement. I mean, for the project. So I don't know if you wanted to.
And I think we have some leftover money from last year.
Yeah, about 150.
Yeah, I think there's 100 left. Because the 50 was for the
study.
study. So
yeah, there's
it's a good thing we saved that money on the roof.
But also, Joe, given that the building has all that bad stuff in it, right?
Not friable, bad stuff. It's not.
No, but if we were actually like to try to renovate the inside of it, that could increase our expenses of like working with things. I mean, so it's you got it one way or the other, right? So we don't really have a need for the building, but even if we were doing, the numbers were huge, but the interior renovation would probably be much higher than we initially played with, given what we know now. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. Yeah, we would have had to pay for all the abatement on all the pipes that would, some of the waterproofing membrane, maybe not, you could leave it in place.
Yeah,
But
if you're opening up and doing stuff. So I just think that,
Yeah, I mean,
it costs a lot to take it down, but the thought of putting all the money in and then even the guess for what the inside the guess would be much higher. I mean, the reality would be much higher.
Yeah, if we had done we probably would have done a gut renovation if, because you're not going to do it halfway. So you're going to disturb a lot of that stuff. And that would have been
expensive.
Yeah. And we found that out, remember, never forget the high school either. I mean,
Exactly.
we thought we could get away there and that was.
And this is 1960. So it's funny. It's like, when do we stop? What age are we going to stop seeing the asbestos?
But lead was 72, right? They stopped lead
72.
paint in 72, I think.
So, all right. So once we, okay.
Yeah, so in kind of the all in redoing the Irwin property, would be, you got to add the 50 in to move Butch over to a good space, but
Yeah.
so it's kind
So,
of.
Joe, how comfortable though, when you say 650, I mean, at 650, are we looking at sort of grassy now? I mean.
so
up to-
650, let's clarify, 650 is just the bid for demolition and abatement. There's other
That
items.
doesn't have anything
I
to do
mean,
with.
we did some work at the barn already. We would need to put contingency on the 650, just in case we discover anything else, which is very possible in a building of this vintage.
Now, what else could we possibly see that you haven't seen through the environmental review?
We could see anything in the unsuitable soils. We carried a small allowance for unsuitable soils, but we have underground storage tanks that we're removing. There's always risks when you go
So we didn't
underground
test for the
surrounding.
underground storage tanks yet?
They test to make sure that we have clean limits after we take it out.
But isn't there is there, okay.
So we'll take out the underground storage, that's covered in this cost to take it out. If it had leaked and we have to go chasing a leak and remove unsuitable soils, then
They don't do
that would be
any
a contingency.
pre-testing of possible leakage to give you an idea?
No,
The environmental.
no. It's really, when you take it out, they over excavate and they basically look at the soil then. That's the most efficient way to do it. And there's other particular items that this cost doesn't include to fill it, to make it level. So I have to bring in some fill. So there's like a $15,000 item there. There's the utility disconnects. So we have to kind of divorce the building from all of its utilities. We have to recharge it's a little water fountain. The little water fountain was fed from there. So we have to make a pit and have a valve so that we can feed the water fountain and possible irrigation. So there's other things that are involved in this. And then there's the shop for Butch, which I don't know that was initially.
Would we have to put let me ask you, that's just, I mean, it's probably a small nit in the grand scheme of all of this, but I mean, would we, if we were to redo it, would we put a water fountain there, or would we just get it closer to the house with other,
Barn,
exactly, the barn, sorry.
Yeah.
So the thought is right now, and we could always change this thought, was that the water is fed from the well house. And we make a junction point close to the house, which is basically, we'd put a valve in the ground. And then that way.
Is the well house just the well that's across from the barn? Okay, so you have why don't we just put it close? Why would we spend all that money to pipe something all the way up back to the house area when there's no more house?
And it would.
No,
So we're not nowhere.
So we're not going to pipe it. We would just, it's the most efficient way to do it. It's just it's right there. We put basically like a dog house on it and a valve inside of it. And then refeed the water fountain. We could move the water fountain at that point if it was more efficient to move it than to repipe over to it. But I don't think it'll be very expensive from where it comes into the building. And these things are these little nits and gnats on the outside. We can talk about and redefine. No, I'm not asking for. I mean, obviously, I'm not asking for any approvals today. And then there's the landscaping. I don't think the landscaping is going to come out of this project, so it would just be, you know, a nice clean knoll at this point, kind of a blank slate for any sort of landscaping. We'll save whatever kind of trees we
You know, when you
can.
get a chance, can you itemize all this? Like
Sure.
all the, you know, we know all the contingencies, just so we know what the whole.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting the caboodle is, yeah.
So so I took a quick stab at that. So I give you a range of, I think we're going to need to request an additional $300,000 to $350,000.
On top of the 650?
No. No, it's for funding,
Like,
for funding, for additional funding.
okay.
All right, yeah, when, it'd be great to
You've
see
got-
that itemized when you.
In the
for our
form
next
of a
meeting.
transfer, there was additional funds from the Waveney House that we didn't expend. It was $1.7 million that's open. So I think it was Tiger's thought that we could ask for a transfer of funds so that we would get this project going.
From the, no, from the,
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
from the.
yeah,
saved roof.
yeah. Save room.
Same, okay.
But
all
this one actually is like works with the bonding.
right,
So
Yeah, okay,
this one-
all right, when you get a chance,
okay.
whatever, total.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Say something else. Oh,
Yeah.
you got two positions.
Yep.
Right, so you
Yep.
should bring Kevin, right?
So we are here to give you an update. Claudia is not available. Tucker.
Yeah, just quick review. The agenda preparation process is one in which department heads send me their items for the agendas. And then I take notes during your meetings. If you say, oh, you know, we should do that at the next meeting. At your last meeting, you had asked specifically that we were going to have a town clerk update. We also, as you know, on Fridays before the Board of Selectmen meeting, send you out the whole packet. And everybody who's going to be asked to be at that meeting to present is included on that. And she was included on that. She, this morning, is telling us she did not know the meeting was happening and that she was going to be on the agenda. So I just wanted to give you that clarification.
So we did have a resignation 2 weeks ago in that office. That was the assistant to the town clerk. That is a union position, so we did post that internally. That posting will expire at the end of today. We have had one applicant internal. So as of the end of today, that applicant is very qualified, and we would move into that position with Claudia accepting that. Then we would have an opening for an administrative assistant in that office, and we still have the opening of the assistant town clerk.
But I'm sorry, the assistant town clerk is not necessarily a separate person, right? Just someone who gets assigned.
Well, there's three. So that office has been
Yeah,
traditionally
yeah.
staffed with the town clerk, an assistant town clerk,
Right.
which is a designated
Right.
position, and then two assistant to the town clerks. I'd like to I wonder why we don't call them deputy town clerks, because this.
Assistant to the town clerk and an administrative assistant to the town clerk.
Okay. So the person so administrative assistant to the town clerk maybe is applying to go to the assistant to the town clerk. So we're going out for an administrative assistant to the town clerk, but we still do not have an assistant town clerk who
Correct.
is eligible to sign documents, do work in the absence of the town
And not
clerk.
even an interim acting
No.
person. Okay.
And we did find out that we don't have the ability to assign somebody on an interim basis. Only Claudia can do
Okay.
that. So
So is the staffing there total 4 people, the town clerk and 3 other people? Did I get that right? And the names confuse me of which one
Right,
is what.
right.
But it's basically, full complement is 4 people. And how many people do we have in there right now?
2.
Oh,
And then she has got 2 part-time that she is utilizing quite a few hours a week.
we're limiting, the amount of money on that is limited, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
we did the 3 months. I just want you to know that I did do some research in the last couple of weeks about other communities and staffing levels in that office. And, a community, I don't want to be specific, but a significantly larger community than ours, like about almost 4 times our size. has a staff of 6, a town clerk, 2 assistant town clerks, and then 3, whatever they designate, but people, no part-time help whatsoever at all. So 4 times the work, 6 versus our town at 4+, always part-time work is what I've been saying since I've been here. When there were 4 people in that office, there was still part-time work with 2 individuals all the time.
Correct.
So I think, people need to be cognizant of that. And, I will be cognizant in budget cycle of that as well, because I think, what there needs to be a look at staffing and what is it that office truly needs, and are there efficiencies that can be made to make that office work better for the community with a small, a more right-sized, staffing. So we're not there though, because we don't even have,
We're down 50%. The team is basically
And the
half.
problem
It's
is
half
it's,
of what it
we
needs.
can't publicize until we get one moved into another position, and then the admin will have to be posted internally because of unions. So there's a whole process here. It's not like I can just advertise 3 positions.
So the person who in-house who raised their hand interested in the job, how, I'm assuming somebody's qualified, who gets the call on whether they get the job? Is that with the town clerk, or is that like everyone together? I mean, because you really like with people internally, if they're good and, if they have an opportunity to move up, you like to be able to be that type of environment.
It should be an agreement with HR and the town clerk, and then we would bring that to you on September 16th.
Okay, so you guys would work and again, I just really, the bias is if we have good people working here and an opportunity opens up, I think, if we should give people the first.
Yeah, well, any good organization has room for advancement, and that's what you want. You really do want to.
Just makes you feel good.
People up. Sure.
Done here traditionally, so.
All right, so you'll be working on that between now and the next meeting.
Correct.
All right, and then once you figure that out, then you can post the other position.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, should we, I guess, well, there may be something for us at the September 16th meeting anyway.
We should ask if they come.
Yeah. So we should probably have another.
Yeah, if the town clerk could
Yeah,
attend, that'd be
especially
great.
because, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Moving on to appointments. You should have, I think I forwarded to both of you the resume for Jack McFarland. We have some vacancies on the utilities, but, oh, he's online? Okay, why not? Oh, good. Hey, Jack. Good.
I would just note that the term ends July 1, 2026.
Okay. All right. All right. So, well, thank you, Jack, for raising your hand and being willing to serve the community. We always like to get new people engaged in the community. So thank you for doing that. And if you looked at Jack's CV, you'll see he has some experience with infrastructure, finance and things like that. So relevant to the Utilities Commission. Since Jack so kindly joined us, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Jack, anytime you're nice enough to join, I'd love to hear, just for the record and for the residents, just tell us about yourself, how long you lived in town and family, et cetera. Just give us a little background.
Absolutely, sure. Thanks, Steve. Thank you all for the consideration. Jack McFarland, I am a 6-year resident of New Canaan. I have 3 boys, 8, 6, and 18 months. And we're loving our time here in New Canaan, and thrilled to have the opportunity to potentially serve here. As Deanna mentioned, past 11 years of my career have been focused on real estate and infrastructure investing and finance. So I feel like I bring some relevant experience to the commission.
That's great. I mean, it always amazes me when I look at folks' resumes and the fact that, you know, you're stepping up to volunteer. It's and especially with 3 boys. I mean, I had 4 boys myself, and you're in the thick of it, man. That's unbelievable. So thank you so much for stepping up and giving the town your time. We
And
appreciate it.
I think we won't, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you grow up in Darien?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so we won't hold that against you.
It only took me 35 years to make the right decision, so it's good. Yeah.
All right,
That's great.
So, Jack's being considered, it's, Rich is rolling off and
Krista
Krista.
Canna.
So it's for,
This is to replace Rich's
okay.
open
Thank you.
position.
All right.
So, all right, any other questions?
No.
All right,
Thanks for sitting through the meeting.
yeah.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.
So if I could get a motion to approve a request to appoint Jack McFarland to the Utilities Commission for a 3-year term ending July 1st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you. All right, and then town holidays. You have on the, yeah, any questions?
I just, because Good Friday is such a floater day, it depends on what, so we don't give people election day off. We just, Good Friday is the day off. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So I always think about when the market's open and not.
Yep,
type of thing.
yep. They
Okay.
get, I think it's 13 by contract.
Okay.
And so,
Right.
so that's. Okay,
A lot of Friday holidays. It's nice.
yeah, this year.
Oh, right. Friday and Mondays.
know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if I could get a motion to approve town holidays for 2026.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. All right, and then you should have on your tablets the contracts under $10,000. Do you have any questions?
Nope, not here.
Okay. All right, and then legal fees. If you go to the legal bills. And I think the only thing that I'll note is there's a large charge on there for Cohen and Wolf, and that was because of the Pura hearings. There were 3. So this is 1 quarter. This is the split with 3 other towns on their representation with all the
This is our portion of it.
this is our portion
Mhm.
of it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make you aware of that.
right. Thanks.
Okay. And then, so if I could get a motion to approve the legal fees,
So moved.
it's unanimous. And then overpayments. If you take a look at those. A lot of, I know. I think it's,
Well, they are just what they are.
yeah,
So.
it's autos and mostly people getting rid of their cars.
Yep.
So if I could get a motion to approve the refund or tax overpayments,
So moved.
it's unanimous. So could I get a motion to move into executive session? The subject of the executive session is cybersecurity and updates. And we're gonna have Chris Kaiser and Tucker in on that conversation.
So
Okay,
moved.
second, and we are now back in open session. If, so Chris, why don't you? Is there anything else we need to talk about? I guess
Yep. So first off, we'd like to enter into purchase with CDWG, who's on state contract, over 25 new iPads. And we're 5 years out, the iPads are out there, we're starting to have a bunch of issues with them.
Yeah.
So we'd like to replace them. Replace all management software as well. CWG is on state contract, so did solicit other accounts and they couldn't come close. I think the closest was 22,000.
Okay.
But because we did this with 25 licenses as well.
So we're swapping out iPads, all of us. Okay.
Is this, so will we repurpose the iPads somewhere else?
No, they won't. As of this year, they can't grow any further. So,
Okay.
what we can do though is find a school system or someone doesn't care.
Yeah.
They can actually the apps on them. We've done that years ago with PCs.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, it'd
do
be
that.
nice to keep it local, like maybe one of the, even a preschool or nursery school or somewhere can.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
They're not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put one of those heavy duty covers on there and just let it have at it. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. I'll just get a motion since we've already had executive session. I think I'll just ask for a motion to approve a request from the Information Technology Department to enter into the following contracts. CDWG for $19,908.50 for 25 iPad Air tablets. Vandis, $58,710.12. Whaley Computer Associates, $36,288 for VMware Cloud Foundations renewal, and SHI for $11,808 for Omnissa Horizon 8 standard for VDI.
So
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Chris.
Chris.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your work.
Okay, and then I guess I only have a couple comments. First being that just a reminder that our regularly scheduled September 9th Board of Selectmen meeting has been rescheduled for September 16th. Enjoy your vacation.
thank you very much.
And then also just wanted to let you both know that we may need to schedule a special meeting in between the 16th and now for approval of contracts for the apps that are being used in the parking meters that we are putting in. There's some contract language. We were hoping to have it ready for today, but there's some minor edits that still need to be done by legal. So yeah, we could, it would be fully remote.
Okay.
So, and quite frankly, you know, if it doesn't, you know, whatever, it's, so that's it. Happy Labor Day to everyone.
Crazy, right?
It's hard to believe.
School's coming back.
Yeah. Any other comments?
No.
Have a good vacation.
Thank you.
For both
I'm
of you.
looking forward to
Both
it.
of you.
So if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.